It's here.
It's October 18th, 2020, which means it is day 18 of the 31 Days of Fright horror movie project, year 9. I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short, and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today officially starts off Friday the 13th week. Originally it was supposed to be Tales from the Crypt, but I got this nice looking Scream Factory deluxe edition in the mail, and it's been sitting on my shelf, and I'm like, I have to dive into it because I've been watching YouTube videos on it and everything, and I just couldn't help it. So I moved the weeks around. So the final week of October will be my Tales from the Crypt review of the series. So in this video, I will be covering the first 3 installments of the Friday the 13th franchise, but I'm going to rank them. I'm going to be doing my least favorite to my favorite of the first 3 films. But before I do, I want you to leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite or your ranking of the first 3 Friday the 13th series, because I want you to click subscribe, hit the bell to stay notified for any future videos I'll be creating right here on this channel, and as well as leave a like and share this video, because that helps me get my videos out there to a much broader audience. And like I mentioned already, leave a comment down below. So now on to the ranking. So I'm going to start with my least favorite of the first 3 Friday the 13th films, which is Friday the 13th Part 2. This is not necessarily a bad movie, and that's not what I'm saying. It's just that when you watch the first 3 together, this one to me is the weakest of them all. I like the story. Like, it takes 5 years after the previous film. I think that's the timeline. And the actress from the first movie, the survivor of the first movie, is killed off in the first few minutes of the movie, and first 15 minutes of the movie, and so it's before even before the titles even happen. And I think this movie does a really good job of introducing Jason to the world in his burlap sack outfit, but he doesn't he's very menacing. He's like, it's Jason. Like, we haven't it's before he starts getting the hockey mask and his teleporting powers. Basically, he's basically just stalking these people throughout the film in a traditional manner, like how it happened in the first movie, and then he starts getting his supernatural powers and stuff like that in later films. But this is like Jason at his base, like before he starts dying and coming back and dying and coming back, and before you finally get to like the really like messed up Jason, which is later on in the series. So this is just like base Jason. So but which isn't necessarily bad, but it's just to me overall the weakest of the first 3 in my opinion. And then on to my second favorite is Friday the 13th, the original one. I like the story for this one, and I like the twist at the end. If you don't know, it's Jason's mother, and which, if you have not seen Scream, I love that trivia question in the movie. But it's just, I like it. What hasn't been said about these films already, but this is a new scan of the movie. All 3 of these first 3 are the newer scans, so they look prettier and look nicer, and they definitely do, and they sound so good. I watched them all on surround sound, and it was like, oh, perfect. I actually had to turn it down a few times because it got loud, and I'm like, I don't want to wake the neighbors. But just overall, you can't beat this one. I actually watched the uncut version, which felt so much better. It didn't seem like we were missing something when it would fade out to that white, and it was just like, okay, and it actually continued a little bit longer, and I felt more like a movie. And then finally, my favorite of the first 3 is Friday the 13th 3. I think, because it takes place just a few days, I think, or a day after the second one. So, really, you could watch all 3 of these back to back to back. And even I'm currently watching Jason 4, the final chapter, which you could watch all 4 of them in one day and have really one continuous story for the most part. And because It takes place relatively close together in time, so it's fun to watch. And I just like this one because you get the first real iconic version of Jason, with the hockey mask, and he isn't kills with the harpoon gun and the machete to the face. I think it's this one. No, it's not. That's the second one. I can't remember. But anyways, but it's just yeah, that's the second one because he's in training, so that's the second one. But this one they take on a little biker gang, and their kills for those are pretty good. And because one of them is impaled into the rafters of the barn, and it was oh, that's really cool. And she's just hanging there. That was a nice kill. And so just I like the story because it's an actual survivor of Jason. That isn't so it kind of shows that he's been doing this for quite some time, and so and just one who managed to get away, and she's traumatized by going back to this place, and then in doing so, Jason's kind of running amok, killing people left and right, and it's just really done really well. I just like that story, despite the gimmicky 3D stuff. I just liked it overall. So, um, I just the first three are so good. I mean, I enjoy watching all of them. Again, I haven't watched all three of these in quite some time, back to back to back, and it was a really fun experience to watch the first three again. And that's really all I gotta say. They look pretty. These are the newer editions. Like I mentioned, the new scans from the actual original camera negative. So it's oh, so when I was watching them on my 4K surround sound, I was just this is probably the best I've seen these movies ever. So that's really all I gotta say about these movies. I'm just going to quickly say this is a horror classic. I covered this one in an earlier year. It's still a horror classic, but I haven't covered a lot of the sequels for the 31 days. So a lot of this will be new. I think this one is definitely just your run-of-the-mill horror, but adds nothing new to the horror genre. If you want to argue, it does when it's because we get Jason, and this one is definitely a 4. Helps move the horror genre forward because it gives Jason its iconic image with the hockey mask, and then going forward with the franchise, and then pop culture and everything else. It's it's what is synonymous with Jason, which is the hockey mask and stuff like that. So it definitely helps move the horror genre forward on that in that instance. So that's really all I gotta say about these first three films. I'm gonna be doing a double features for all week, except for the final day or something like that. But I can't wait to see what you have to say about these three films. Leave a comment down below. And as always, I am the one and only MSJ, Max for short. And thank you.